what is risk? I think it's important to talk about that. A couple of years ago, when I would be giving courses on credit derivatives or options, a lot of the people that attended those classes would simply say, Maida, just tell me how to make money with these products. And as soon as I talked about risk, or as soon as I talked about regulators, they would glaze over. Okay, that attitude has changed a little bit. What is risk? What is financial risk? What is it that we're trying to hedge here? So risk, first of all, I'll define that, is obviously the probability that something negative is going to happen, right? In our world, in terms of finances, what's going to keep me up at night is whether I'm going to lose money in my portfolio. I'm not staying up at night with insomnia thinking, gee, my portfolio might go up even by 1%. That would be a bull market these days, frankly. But it's the probability that something negative is going to happen, and also it's not just about a probability, but it's also about exposure. If I have $5 and I have a probability, 50% probability that I might lose money, am I really going to be that worried? But if you tell me that I have an exposure of $100 million and I have a 50% probability that I'll lose money, that obviously is going to color my view very differently and will influence me about hedging that position or not. One of the major risks that people think about, as this gentleman has told us, is credit risk. Now, the first one, we all think, okay, you lend me money, you better do your due diligence. What's the probability that I'm going to pay you back? But not just that I'm going to pay you back fully. Am I going to pay you back on time? Am I going to pay you in the amounts that I said that I would? But that's not the only component to credit risk. Things like a company restructuring. Could be good in the future for the company to restructure, but if you hold a bond of a company that restructures, there's going to be a period of uncertainty. You don't know if you're going to get paid. Where do you stand in the pecking order of getting paid by that issuer? So a restructuring, when a company restructures, that's considered a credit event. Okay. What about a downgrade? Well, not very happy when your issuer gets downgraded, because if you're holding those bonds, that's also a credit event, meaning you are negatively impacted by that. Concentration. Now, if you have a lot of bonds and they're all Russian sovereign bonds, right? That's 100% concentration. Or let's say that you have 50% tech bonds and 50% pharmaceuticals. That's also heavily concentrated. In other words, you're not diversified. So this idea of being concentrated in your investments or concentrated by counterparty. How about those banks that had 50% of their derivatives where the counterparty was Lehman? Not real happy right now. So it's about concentration and investment, but also concentration by counterparty that is also a subset of credit risk.